What's up, what's down, what's all around? Farmers Marcus here again with another video. I am going to be talking to you guys about Daniel in the lion's den. So I learned a lot today. Again, the goal is to discuss one thing that I learned from the day and my journey as an entrepreneur, a full-time entrepreneur, and learned a lot of things today. I'm actually going to be doing a message in we have a group of guys from my church that meet at a diner on Thursdays, every Thursday. And tomorrow I'll be actually leading a discussion about Daniel in the lion's den. We were tasked to pick a story from the Bible that we either relate to or that we really like, and I chose Daniel in the lion's den because I wanted to kind of learn some more about it, and also I just read through it from my 1 year in a Bible plan. So but really cool story. I just wanted to kind of go through the ins and outs of it. So essentially, Daniel, he just witnessed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego come out of the fiery furnace. So if you don't know that story, that's in Daniel 3. But he just witnessed that. At this point, this is Daniel 6, Daniel chapter 6. So King Darius, he just became the king, and he's like 62. Daniel's like in his 80s, and he's a very good administrator. So King Darius has 3 administrators over what's called satraps, like these little territories, whatever. He has 120 satraps. And so I'm assuming if you break that down, 3 divided by 120, or what is that? Yeah, 3 divided by 120. They have 40 different satraps that they probably are under. So after some time, Darius is like, man, Daniel really knows his stuff, so I might put him over my whole kingdom. The other administrators did not like that, and other people did not like that at all. So they were like, we gonna have to take this man out. So they went to see if there's anything negligent or anything that Daniel does that they can try to convict him on. But Daniel is a circumspect guy. He is high in integrity. He's disciplined. There was nothing that was negligent. My man didn't even come to work late. Like, they could not find anything on this guy. So they were like, the only way that we'll be able to get him is if it's something against him serving his God. So they went to King Darius, and it was like, hey, king, oh king, you looking fly today. They didn't say that, of course, but they basically stroked his ego, and it was like, oh king, oh lovely king, you should make a law saying that within the next 30 days, that anyone that worships a god or any other gods outside of you, they should be thrown in the lion's den. And then you should put it in writing so that way it can't be changed. So King Darius is like, you know what? I think that's a good idea. And my man really just fell for it. So when he wrote it out, it became law, can't be revoked, anything like that. Daniel immediately, once he found out, immediately went into prayer. So he prayed 3 times a day already. And the satraps and the other administrators, they saw that he did this. They knew he was going to be praying. So they went to go check on him, like, yeah, he's still praying. Like, yes, that's why we glad that he praying. So they found him praying, went to the king, was like, hey king, didn't you remember that edict, that law you just made the other day? And he was like, yeah, the one that can't be revoked for 30 days. Yeah, Daniel, he praying to somebody else that's not you. So the king, he was in distress. He didn't like that. He was like, oh man, they got me. And then so he was stressed because, like, and I used to think like he actually liked Daniel, and I'm sure they probably like was cool and everything close, but my man was worried about his money. Like, he's like, man, it's my best asset in the kingdom. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm about to take my best asset out. So he was stressed with trying to figure out how he can help him all day. Came during the evening time, they came back and was like, hey, your law says he has to go to the lion's den. So he goes back to the lion's, King Darius makes the order, and they throw Daniel into the lion's den. So my man King Darius, he's stressed because he actually sealed the lion's den, and the nobles, they sealed it as well. So it was like, man, there's nothing I can do. And it was a no-win situation, it seemed like, until God. But God. Somebody say, but God. But so King Darius stressed, and he stayed up all night, didn't eat, didn't have any entertainment, didn't watch no Netflix that night. My man was stressed. He's like, man, my money about to be messed with. Next day he flew. He's like, man, let me go see if this man is alive. He yelled out, he's like, Daniel, the one, did your God that you serve, did he save you? And then Daniel was like, oh, King, you should live forever, wish you for live forever, whatever phrase that is, whatever phrase they yell out. He was like, yes, my God did close the mouth of the lions. So he was like, all right, pull him out. When he pulled him out, there was no scars on Daniel at all. So that just shows God's grace there. And from there, Darius is like, oh yeah, all y'all who talked about him, all y'all who made that edict or that law, all getting thrown there. And not only did he throw the people who blamed Daniel or made that law, he actually threw their families in there too. Like, he was not playing. Like, he's like, y'all not about to have a son who is gonna grow up and eventually kill me. Like, none of that. Everybody getting it. Like, he threw their whole family in the lion's den, and they said before they even got to the floor, them lions tore them up. I was like, man, that's crazy. So yeah, that was the quick story of Daniel. Just a few quick things. What I really got from that was the principles, if you will, was that Daniel was a man of integrity, which is something to notice, is to make sure you walk in integrity, especially if you're a believer. And then he also had a consistent prayer life. So it didn't really talk about, like, Daniel didn't talk that whole story really at all, other than when he talked to the king. It didn't say he was stressed. I'm sure he was probably like scared, but it didn't say he like fussed or anything of that nature. It was like he just went to go pray and he asked God for wisdom, and that's what he did. So he had that consistent prayer life. That's another principle. And the last principle is just mastering your craft. So he was so good at what he did that he was an asset to the king, and the king didn't want him to die because he was an asset to the kingdom. So those are some things that I took away from that story, and some things that you can learn from as well and also apply to your life. So hope this is valuable for you. As always, seed, plant, harvest, and until next time.